In the first stage, we highlighted, focused, and shared the memory. In the second stage, we forgave and learned a variety of ways to numb our emotion to the memory. In the third stage, we channeled the sense of disappointment or victimhood towards a higher realistic understanding. We looked at the situation from a bird's eye view and found something positive in the negative memory. In the fourth stage, we changed the past and thus neutralized the emotional association that accompanied memory. We distorted the painful memory, or we realized that the painful memory is not necessarily what really happened. Anyway, we replaced it with another alternative memory that is more pleasant to digest. And in the last stage, we understood and tried to close the circle. We gave a delete command to the brain. We released the painful memory and its appendages and swore not to mess with it anymore. Now, I am realistic and completely aware that a course in forgetting is probably one of the toughest courses for a person from a mental perspective. But if you've dedicated the time and effort to complete all stages of the course with patience and honesty, if you've persisted despite the difficulties, have done all the exercises, repeated them on a daily basis, I am positive that the frequency in which you recall the unwanted memory will decrease to the point at which you have no need to remember the event. Yes, there is a paradox in this title. If the memory continues popping up, is this a sign that we failed the course and the methods did not help? Are we forever destined to suffer from the bad memory? Well, I'll ask you a question. Did you ever take antibiotics that cured your illness within 2 hours? Or is it customary to prescribe antibiotics for a week or two? This is a rhetorical question because the entire healing process takes time. A wound does not heal the minute you dress it, and an illness is not immediately cured. In summary, be patient and don't jump to conclusions when the memory resurfaces. Let your body and mind digest the intentional forgetting process. In the long term, the intentional forgetting course will achieve its target. You will completely remove the event you do not wish to remember from your life's desktop. It will no longer interfere with your life. Until this happens, the memory may persist and resurface from time to time. When this happens, do not worry, it only wants our attention. And our job is not to give in. These are the things you need to do to get rid of it. Repeat the deletion command. Say out loud, "Dear brain, please delete the memory. I don't want it anymore." Like an arcade game where dolls pop out of a machine and you need to hammer them back in. You need to repeat the memory deletion command. Toss it into the recycle bin. Number 2, distraction from ourselves. Distract ourselves from ourselves? If I got up in the morning and saw Brad Pitt in the mirror, I would have focused on Brad Pitt all day. But I see this face every morning and therefore I am self-centered. What are you talking about? Well, we talked about the fact that the more we are focused on ourselves, the more we intensify our problems. If we focus our attention on things external to us, other people, work, the view during hiking, we divert the focus from ourselves. I have a friend whose wife has a slight handicap. She spends many hours trying to improve her situation, starting from yoga and meditation and ending in a specific diet and natural remedies. He once told me, "Do you know when her situation improves drastically? When we travel abroad." Because traveling abroad is a continuous, enjoyable distraction from our daily lives. Our daily lives normally highlight our problems. Instead of investing our time and thoughts in ourselves and our problems, it is advisable that we use the time to experience and learn new things. Even the process of planning a trip to an unknown place requires special attention. So in summary, this contributes to our distraction from ourselves. Our mind can do only one action at a time. We cannot think about two things at once. If we are focused on a specific physical or mental activity, this comes at the expense of other thoughts and mental activities, for example, recalling traumas. Dale Carnegie wrote in his masterpiece, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, "I am too busy. I don't have time to worry." So make sure to keep yourself busy. The minute an unwanted memory pops up, distract yourself with some activity. If you have a private jet, fly abroad that instant. If you don't have a private jet, go out for a 20-minute stroll while listening to music. This does wonders. What you can and should do is plan in advance what you will do when an unwanted memory resurfaces. Now, I do this when my thoughts wander away from a task I'm working on and I start daydreaming instead of concentrating. If I'm writing, reading, or working and finding myself losing concentration and thinking about a problem that's troubling me, I consciously imagine myself sending a guided missile to this thought and blowing it up. I envision a large blast and remind myself that I need to focus on the task at hand. Change your identity. Adopt another character from time to time, the character we want to be, that is already within us. In exceptional cases, when people feel a sense of alienation from themselves, that there is some bad luck accompanying their lives, they sometimes change their name and adopt another identity. But you don't have to go to extremes. You can change something simple. For example, a new item of clothing, new glasses, a new haircut. Well, if you're lucky and you have that option. Halloween can be celebrated more than once a year. If you don't feel good about yourself, step into another character until it becomes part of you. Fake it until you make it. When I was young, I lacked self-confidence. I used to talk and walk quickly, my jerking body movements conveying my insecurity and shyness. It took some time and awareness, but I finally trained myself, programmed my mind to speak more slowly, to walk at a respectable pace and stand tall, and stop providing rushed answers to questions. To act, they say, star under the spotlight. And yet, to this day, it does not always come naturally, and I have to remind myself to act the confident guy. I get into this character and it suits me. And as we are nearing the end, how can we prevent bad memories from being implanted in our mind in the first place?